Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to talk about something real. Why your life doesn't change and why you feel stuck, and how in fact basic chemistry can explain you why. For those who don't know me, I'm Helen, I'm a chemist, and beside my studies I do some scientific art with chemical reactions, chemical crystals. I have my own brand called Helenium, so if you want to take a look, you can click the link into the description. I created this series of video because I truly believe that if we want to change things in our life, if we want even change something in the world of humanity, we need to go deeper inside the fundamental elements and laws and forces that made the whole universe, so us, right? Because we're not separate from it, we're part of it. So why shouldn't we look deeper into the fundamental laws that made us, right? So let's break it down, guys. Not with vague or personal advice, but with basic science. So let's start with the most basic thing in chemistry, a chemical reaction. Literally the foundation of everything in the whole universe. So going from A to B, from reactants to products. If you want to go from A to B, from reactants to products, something has to break before. You can't just add a new life, a new identity, a new version of yourself on the top of the old one. You first need to break all the old bonds, all the structure that kept you stuck. So you need to destroy yourself in order to create a new version of yourself. And that is how a chemical reaction works. And between those two states, there is chaos. There is literally destruction. It feels horrible, it feels unstable. And in chemistry, it's called the transition state. That moment when nothing looks like working. The past is already gone, but the future isn't here yet. So you're in that no man's land, and you can't go back and you can't see where you're going. It's very uncomfortable. It feels like you're failing yourself, but it's literally the most beautiful sign from the universe trying to tell you to embrace the chaos, to embrace this phase of transition, to embrace the uncertainty of this reaction. Because every single product you see in the whole universe, every single stable molecule you see exists because at some point the system went through that chaotic, terrifying, and uncertain state, right? Let's do a quick example here. So this is a random molecule. This is you, for example. You want to change in your life the red part here. You want to change the red atom. In order to do that, you can just add a new atom on it. Because here, as you can see, this atom doesn't allow any other bond. It doesn't have any other possibilities than this one here. So first, you have to destroy this bond. Now the molecule is in transition state because it's very unstable, it's very high in energy, because here you don't have any bonding anymore. So the molecule doesn't feel safe, it doesn't feel happy. So after that transition, after that chaotic state, now you can bond other things in your life. Now the molecule is complete, but you can't skip that transition state, it's necessary. But let's be honest here, the transition state isn't just about laying back and doing nothing and saying, yes, okay, chaos is normal, so nothing makes sense in my life anymore, so I will just wait and see what happens. I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way. You're not transforming that way, you're stagnating. So you need energy, and that's what so many people do. Like, they stay in chaos for years, for decades, and they call it bad luck. They say, but life didn't give me the chance, didn't give me the opportunities. But in reality, they didn't give enough energy to climb out of that state. And that's why you're stuck. Let me show you something. So this is a diagram of a reaction. Every reaction needs a certain amount of energy to happen. And so that is the diagram. It shows us, so the left side is the reactants and the right side are the products. And between those two, there is a huge peak here. You see this? This is called the activation energy. It's like a mountain you have to climb. And without that climbing here, you can't reach the products. Like, even if you put that amount of energy here, the products will not appear. Like here, it's still zero, it's still reactants. You put energy, but if you climb here, nothing happens. So you really have to climb up that peak. And after that, the reaction flows itself down. You see? So even if the reactants are good, you can have the talent, you can have the potential, you can have the money, but if you don't put that exact amount of energy, nothing will happen for you. you will stay stuck in the left side forever. And the bigger the product is, the bigger this peak will be. And I know, guys, this part here is the hardest. It's terrifying, it's horrible. Because here, you don't see the results. Like, you only put energy, but you don't know what you're doing, because you just see a huge peak and you don't see the products. Because here in chemistry shows us that here it's still zero, here it's still zero. Like, you have still energy, you put energy, but here it's still reactants, it's still zero for chemistry, nothing happens. So even here, nothing happens, I'm sorry. So really, here it's the part that most people give up, because you don't see results. Like, you put so much energy and you don't see results, but it's coming, and it's coming like an explosion here. Because here, you see finally the products, it makes sense, and it makes so much sense after, because after it flows down again. It's like, you have to trust life after that. You have to flow down, like, you have to trust the flow of life coming to you. And that is the most beautiful part of after success, after climbing that mountain, is that feeling you have that finally something makes sense for me. And I know it's unfair, because the reaction doesn't show you the results halfway. I don't want you to give up, please, and I don't want you to burn out as well. So find a good balance. Every day just 1% better, because it's still energy going up. So yes, so it will suddenly come one day and you will do, what is happening? Because at the peak, you will see the products, you will see a lot of synchronicities, opportunities, and life starts to open up for you, you see? And then it will make sense, because you will find the direction. It will flow by itself gently to the products. And it's the most beautiful thing, so please don't give up. Before we go any further, we need one word, and it's entropy. It's my favorite subject in science, my favorite concept overall. And entropy in science is, in fact, how energy spread out. For example, how many ways a system can arrange itself. For example, the air particles in this room are not like located in one specific place in my room. Like, they spread out everywhere. They take the biggest volume possible. And that is because of the second law of thermodynamics, that says that in an isolated system, like the universe is an isolated system in science, entropy tends to increase over time. So translation, if you do nothing, things naturally drift into disorder, into chaos. And that's why we say the universe is expanding, it's moving away from us, like the galaxy expands and they take more and more place into the whole universe. I don't know what it is, but this whole space. And that's why I think also as humans, we also need to expand in a way. And I think we expand through like creation, to create something. You know, that's why when you do nothing, like you feel stuck, you feel like a pressure, and because you're not expanding you the way you should as a human. So you need to birth something out of your like soul, of your like body, because it wants to expand. So that's why also we need to create as much as possible. But here's the thing, you as a human, you are not an isolated system. Life itself is organized by spending energy, by exporting energy to the outside. Like your body does that all the time. You eat, you move, you breathe, and every second your body exports energy to the outside. Yes, to keep your inner world, your inner body ordered, like to keep a certain amount of order in your body, to keep you alive, to survive. But listen to me very carefully right now, because this is really important to know, and to know how to balance things. So yes, chaos is natural. Things naturally move toward disorder in time. That is entropy, that is a law of the universe, yes. But if you stay in that chaotic state forever, you will feel depressed, you will feel burnout, you will develop illnesses, so that is also not good. You have to put order inside that chaotic world, inside that chaotic system. Because if you don't put order inside it, if you don't put the structure and the energy to keep you ordered, entropy will eat you alive, and the system will eat you alive. So put structure and energy to keep an order and to find balance between disorder and order in life. That is how life works. That is the cycle of the universe. So change requires two things. It requires you to accept the chaos as part of life, as part of the process. Because if you want to go from A to B, as I said at the beginning of this video, from reactants to products, you need to go into that chaotic and transition state in order you to transform and to change, right? So you need to embrace the chaos as part of life, as part of transformation. And you need also to put order and structure inside that chaotic state, right? You need to put energy in order to climb up that energy, that activation energy, to see finally the change and to climb up and to flow into the products, right? So that requires order and disorder at the same time. And now, how do you impose order inside that chaos? The same way chemistry does. For example, so first you need to be very clear about your goals, about the products you want to have in life. You have to write everything on paper. Please, like in everything you want to achieve, your visions, your body, I don't know, your dream body, your dream life, your dream mindset, I don't know, write it all down. Like in chemistry, we write every single thing we see down. And before we do any kind of reactions, we write the target molecule first, because not being clear about the products can lead to side reactions, and that is energy wasted, that is time wasted, and we don't want that. So be clear about your goals and the products. Let's do a quick example here, so to test you. Those are two molecules, so they look the same, right? They look quite identical. They have the same atoms, the same colors, so you can say it's the same molecules. But in chemistry, it's a big mistake to say that, because as you can see, if there is a mirror on that molecule, like here, you will see exactly this image of this molecule here. So in chemistry, that is called chirality. Those molecules are not identical. One can taste like strawberry and the other like mint, but they have the same atoms. It's only because of the 3D configuration they have in space. So that is crazy. On paper, they're exactly the same formula. But in the 3D world we live in, they have other optical properties and they're completely opposite. So that is crazy. And that means that if you only write your goals on paper and if you don't do nothing in the outside world, right, in the real world, you will not change. Like if you just write it and just wait, nothing will happen. So you have to experience what you wrote on paper and the outside world. You have to experience, like in chemistry, we write and then we do reactions, right? We write and then we see what happens. And then we experience, then we take the action. But not just write and it will happen magically. So just write and then experience. There was a very famous case in the 1960s where scientists synthesized a molecule to reduce nausea for a pregnant woman. And they didn't know there was two enantiomere of those. So one was chiral to the other, and they synthesized the other that caused severe birth defect on babies. So that is crazy, and it was really a scandal and so on. So be very clear and visualize, like in the real world, what you want in life. Visualize everything and experience it in the real world before you do anything. So the second important rule is to put energy consistently during the reaction. Even if it's like 1% every day, it's still energy going up. Remember, you have just that mountain, that energy barrier to climb. So even 1%, it's still energy going up. And suddenly one day it will come. So stay consistent, don't burn out, don't give up, but don't burn out, because going too quickly is not good, because in any kind of reaction, we don't do the reaction like in 1 minute, like we put very much heat on it. No, we do it like really slowly, but good, to have the purest product at the end, to have the purest result. So just be consistent during the reaction and it will come one day. The third one will sound quite cliche, but it's one of the most important and basic thing. So in fact, control the conditions. Like in chemistry, we set the pH, the solvent, the concentration, the temperature. So everything is to increase and maximize the quality of the outcomes of the products. It's the same in your life. So if you want to increase the quality of the products, to increase the quality and the speed of the reactions, your environment, your sleep, the food you eat, the phone boundaries, like every kind of thing you do, activities, sport, I don't know, it will increase or decrease the outcomes. So be very clear and like change your outside parameters to maximize the quality of the products. If you want a shorter cut in your life, you can use catalysts. You can find catalysts around you. So catalyst in chemistry decreases the energy needed for the reaction. So it does that. You see, the mountain needs less energy to climb. So you can find it as well in your life. It can be mentors, it can be muses, it can be friends, it can be like activities, any kind of things that will decrease that barrier. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this video again, and I hope you like my vision of seeing chemistry according to the philosophy of life. And for those who tell me that it's too basic science, I let you know that it's not my purpose to teach anyone chemistry here or teach anyone science. I make only the link between basic science because I have to balance between those who aren't familiar with science or chemistry and those who are. So it's just that link that I make. So if you want to reach out of more advanced chemistry, please watch other video, but this channel is only for the link between them and for any kind of people and the biggest amount of people possible. So yeah, thanks again, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.